Okay, so you can unmute yourself so that you can hear me.
Okay.
All right. Okay, can I go
Yes.
ahead?
Yes.
All right. I can go ahead.
Yes.
My slide, my slide is showing on the screen.
Yes, it's showing on the television screen.
Okay, thank you and welcome once again to this special seminar. As you can see, the topic is the future of work in the era of digital transformation. Those of you that attended our success camp, you will know that this was one of the topics that was handled during the Success Insight. We deem it necessary to repeat it today because it is very important. It has to do with your future. And as a church, we are really interested in your future. So I believe that by repeating this topic, God is going to give us some of the important information He wants us to have with regards to this topic. I'm going to read the Bible in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4. The Bible says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." What we have here is a prophecy talking about the future. When Daniel was writing, it was prophecy, it was about the future. But should I inform you that this is now our reality? It's no longer a future. When Daniel wrote, he said that in the time of the future, knowledge shall increase. And here we are. This is what a man called Buckminster Fuller called the knowledge doubling curve. It was in 1982 that he plotted this curve. And in this curve, you could see that in 1900, it was said that knowledge doubled every century, that every 100 years, knowledge will double. What people know will double. If you have 2 million body of knowledge, after 100 years, it will become 4 million. It will double. By 1945, knowledge doubles every 25 years. No longer up to 100 years. Knowledge doubles every 25 years. And by 1982, knowledge doubles every 12 to 13 months. That is almost every year, knowledge will double. Then a company called IBM predicts that by 2020, that is where we are, knowledge will double every 11 to 12 hours. See where we started? Every century, every 100 years. Now we are talking about every 12 hours in 2020. That is to say, when you wake up in the morning, by the time you go to bed in the night, knowledge has doubled. And somebody said that if a student enrolled in a 3-year program, diploma program, you will discover that by the time he graduates after 3 years, most of what he learned at his first year has become obsolete. Because of the way the knowledge turned up, if he doesn't update by the time he graduates, what he has learned in first year has become out of date. That is telling you how fast knowledge doubles. So that's why we are talking about digital transformation. By digital transformation, we are talking about how modern devices, new devices, and technological devices which are new, which are fast, efficient, and changing very rapidly, how they are being used to create, to modify, and to enhance how things are done. So we use those technologies to create things that don't even exist. We use them to modify what is already existing, and we also use them to enhance the way we do work. So you see that science and technology has brought a lot of changes to humanity. They have changed the way things are done in almost every industry. In fact, in virtually every industry. Are you talking of transport and aviation? Science and technology has changed the way things are done. Are you talking about tourism and entertainment? Science and technology has changed the way things are done. Are you talking about banking and industry? Science and technology has changed the way things are done. Are you talking about trade and commerce? Even in education and research, even in health and hospitality, even in security and in defense. Science and technology has changed the way things are done. What I'm showing here now is what we call the Oyster card. That is what they use by the Transport for London. It's like an ATM card, prepaid card. You buy it, depending on the amount you load inside it. That's what you carry around for your transportation. Whether you are traveling by train, by rail, even by boat, ferry. You just swipe it or touch a magnetic strip, and the door will open for you. You enter. You don't need to carry money about with you. So there are so many ways science and technology are being used in different industries. Before I come to this slide, the implication is that the way things are, a lot of jobs are going to become obsolete or extinct in a few years. Some jobs that are available now will no longer be necessary. And of course, some jobs have already gone into extinction. So like this man you see here is called a town crier. I don't know whether any of you have ever come across a town crier. In the olden days, if you have information to pass across, the man will go with his gun or with his drum or with his bell and be going from location to location. He will ring the bell and make the announcement. That is how people in the community will get information. But of course, that you know that in many communities, those things are no longer necessary. Now we have WhatsApp group. Anything you want to pass across, you put in a WhatsApp group, and within seconds, everybody has got information. Or you put it in a social media. Within minutes, it has gone viral. Everybody has known. You don't need a town crier anymore. Here you see a typist. Some of you may never have seen somebody like this, a typist with typewriter. When I started my university, we type our term papers with typewriter. A typist will type it for us. But today, that job is no longer in the market. So if this lady has not updated herself and become computer literate, she will be out of job. Then the next picture you are seeing is the regional office of NITE, headquarters of Lagos Zoo. I don't know whether this building is still there. If it is there still, it will be out of use, or it may have been converted to other uses. The one in Guzo here, where I am, is no longer in existence. They have put it down. Why? Because nobody needs NITE anymore. The coming of digital technology has made NITE obsolete and extinct. So that is how many other jobs today will become extinct in the next couple of years. Now here we are comparing the traditional way of doing things and the digital way of doing things. Under the traditional way of doing things, you see that the process makes use of a lot of paperwork, it's time consuming, it's slow, it takes a lot of manpower, many people have to do the work, and it's costly, and it's prone to human error. You can make mistakes. But under the digital transformation, you see that we have less manpower, which is cost effective and is accessible from anywhere, and there's not too much dependence on paperwork, and it is time efficient, very quick, and very transparent. So that's how you see people using a lot of digital devices these days. And today we have what we call cloud computing. Before, we used to store our information in what we call floppy disk or diskette. Some of you may never have come across it. Then from there, we moved to using flash, USB flash, then hard disk. Today, we are now talking about cloud computing. You save your documents in the cloud, and any part of anywhere you are, you can have access to them so long as there is internet. Today, we talk about filling forms online. Then today, we talk of soft copies. People don't talk about hard copies anymore. People don't carry papers anymore. It is soft copy. Then we have e-readers. People read their books with digital devices, no longer carrying textbooks up and down. And then we have what we call artificial intelligence. That is, machines can be made to behave like human beings. They have intelligence, they know what to do. I will give you an example. I have a surveillance camera in my house sometime. That camera has intelligence because it connects to the internet. And anytime there's movement in that room, it will detect that there's a motion. It's the motion detected. It will even go ahead and take a snapshot. It will snap that event. And not only that, it will send an alert to my mobile phone. Anywhere I am, I will get an alert from my camera in the house telling me that motion has been detected in my room. And he will give me a snapshot of what he saw. Then if I now open the camera app in my phone, I will start seeing my room at real time, what is happening in the room right away. And if I speak to my phone, the camera will transmit the sound and repeat it. So that is artificial intelligence. All these things can happen because of digital transformation. So talking about the dimensions of digital transformation, there are so many dimensions. It has affected not only what we do, but the processes, how we do things. Like I said before, we are now moving into digitalization. Everything is digital. So the era of paper is going, gradually is going. We are now moving into digital devices. You know, some people used to get worried about the way it appears as if mobile devices are trying to replace the Bible. But it's a matter of time. You understand? It's a matter of time. People will transit from paper to digital. Then not only how we do things, but it will affect operations. Digital transformation will affect operations. The way who does things, people and performances will be affected. Like what you are seeing there is not a toy doll. No, that is a robot, an artificial intelligence. It can do a lot of things that even human beings may not be able to do with such a speed and ease that human beings may not be able to achieve. So that is what will happen under digital transformation. It's already happened. I've already told you about how a camera is doing the work of a security man for me. Then it also affects where things are done, the relationship between businesses and their customers, such that you no longer need physical interface or interaction between customers before you can do business. A lot of things can now be done electronically. We do a lot of things in social media. So that is what digital transformation is all about. It affects how, who, and where businesses are to be done. Now look at this. Somebody said that work is where Wi-Fi is. So we are talking about the future of works. And we say that in that future, work is where the Wi-Fi is. So it's not only until you go to what we call your place of work that you can do work. In the old traditional system, before digital transformation, you wake up in the morning you wake up by 6 a.m., then by 8 a.m. you are going to your office where you work. And you stay there until around 4 p.m. Then you go home. You have finished the work for the day. That is not how things will be under the digital transformation. Under digital transformation, work is anywhere, anytime, anywhere there is Wi-Fi. So you can see people working in a hotel lobby. You can see people working in the airport, waiting for their flight, and they are working. You can see people on vacation. They have even traveled, and yet they are still working. I remember one time ago, I sent an email to somebody, and that is an email that needed to be responded to, maybe within 2-3 days. I supposed to get a response. It was not until after 1 week that the person replied. So, oh, I'm very sorry, I have been away, I've been out of office, I didn't see your mail. And I was surprised. Why should your not being in your office affect replying of mails? Because you carry your mail with you. You carry your work with you now. Now, when this pandemic came, most governments say people should stay at home, don't go to work. And many people complied. They stayed at home. And that meant no work for many people. In fact, it even meant no job. Some people lost their job because they couldn't go to work anymore. But you know that during that period, some people continue to work. That is those who are compliant with digital transformation. If your work required a laptop, required internet, you can still work from home. So when they say work from home, it's only those that can work from home that work from home. That is only those that use computer, those that use internet. So today we talk about working remotely. So you don't need to be in your office before you do your work. You see, I am here right now handling a presentation for you, and I don't need to be there with you. It's because of digital transformation. So we have what we call digital nomads. You know, nomads are those who move from place to place, like this herdsmen. You see them in one village today, next week they're in another village. So that's how some people are digital nomads. You cannot pin them down to a particular office and say this is his office where he works. They can work from anywhere. That is possible because of digital transformation. Now look at this picture. You will see on my left, you will see the picture of a marketplace. This is a market where people bring their wares to display and customers will come there to buy. That is traditional. But under the digital transformation, it's no longer necessary. You can still make your purchases and buy things and pay for them and see them using only your laptop and your smart card. So you can place online order. You can go to a shop, look for what you are looking for, fill your shopping cart or shopping basket, check out, make payment, and place the order, and the thing will be delivered to you. It's happening today. I use it a lot. Then down here you have a banking hall, crowded, full of people. They have come to do one transaction or the other. You know, when I started some years ago, when I started working, when they pay us our salary through the bank, maybe for that 1 week after payment of salary, everybody is rushing to the bank to go and withdraw their money so that they can do their businesses, make purchases, go to market, settle bills, and things like that. Today, it's no longer necessary. In fact, even to know whether they have paid salary, you have to go to the bank and say, please check my account balance for me. Today, you don't need to go to the bank to check your account balance. In the comfort of your home, with your mobile devices, you can check your account balance. And if they have paid the salary, you can settle your bills. You can pay school fee. You can do shopping. You can pay NEPA bill. You can pay any bill you can think of. You can transfer money to those who want to transfer money without leaving your house. That is in the era of digital transformation. Now look at this picture. This is what looks like a conference hall or a meeting hall or a boardroom, and it is empty. And this is the kind of thing we witnessed during this pandemic. Meeting halls are empty. So does it mean that there is no meeting again? Look at this. This is a classroom and it's empty. Does it mean that there is no school again? You know, for almost 4 or 5 months since middle of March, most schools in Nigeria are under lock and key, from kindergarten to universities. Most students. So is that the end of learning, end of teaching, end of schooling? The answer is no, it's not. Meetings are still going on. Learning is still going on. Teaching and learning is still going on. What has happened? They have all gone virtual. This is where you meet them. So this is a screenshot of a virtual meeting, either a virtual classroom or a virtual board meeting or a virtual conference. The people are meeting together, but they are not together. They could be in different parts of the country or in different parts of the world. One may be in his bedroom, one may be in his kitchen, one may be in his car, one may be in a hotel lobby, one may be on the go, one may even be in a plane, and they are all having meetings together. Why? Because of digital transformation. They can do it virtually. look at me, I'm taking a seminar for you because I can do it virtual. You see, your leader has been insisting that I should come down to Enugu and handle seminars for the youth over there. And I have been promising to do that. And for me to come to Enugu to do this seminar, I need to travel over 800 kilometers. I need about 3 days to do that, to travel, do the seminar and come back. I need about 3 days. But now with the opportunity offered by digital transformation, we can now do this seminar without me leaving my state or my location. Now we are thinking about this pandemic that came upon us, this coronavirus pandemic. And we know there were losers during this pandemic, but there were gainers. Those people, those businesses that did not embrace digital transformation, they were losers. But those businesses or companies or industries that embraced digital transformation, they were gainers and winners. They were people that were looking ahead. So during the pandemic, people continued networking using social media. So Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, they didn't have any problem. In fact, they were in business and their businesses were booming. People that embraced online shopping, when markets were closed, people were still shopping. Amazon had a good time because people were still buying things online. The people that were involved in information technology like Google, the Google was in business because people were a lot of searching. People were looking for information and all that. You know, there were a lot of fake news going on during the pandemic, misinformation. So people have to check up on the internet what is true and what is not true. So you see a lot of visits to Google search engine. So they were really making money that period. How about the communication industry? People in the mobile telecommunication like Glo, Airtel, MTN, they were in business. These were people that were into work for the future. They were designed for this present generation. Now the biggest of all is Zoom, a company called Zoom. They were there since 2016. People didn't know much about it. And I don't think Zoom ever imagined or anticipated that the day will come when everybody will migrate to Zoom. But he was looking ahead. When he started that application, he was looking ahead. He was planning for the future. And in this 2020, preparation met opportunity. Now today, meetings are now going on in Zoom. Conferences are now going on in Zoom. Seminars are now going on in Zoom. Teaching and learning classrooms have gone to Zoom. Trainings and workshops are in Zoom. Even broadcast television, they do their interviews and they interact with their guests through Zoom. Even church services are now going on through Zoom. So which means that every day, every week, the owners of Zoom will be smiling to the bank with millions and billions of dollars. That is, they prepare for the future, the work of the future. Now, so we say that many activities are now computer compliant. Many activities. Whether you are talking about learning, there's now e-learning. So you can learn online. You can use library online. You can go to a whole university library and have access to it online without entering that library for the first time. It's possible. I have told you about e-banking, that there's virtually nothing you cannot do through electronic banking, from opening an account to even closing an account. You can do it online. We have medical consulting online. We have churches, services, worship online. These are how activities are becoming computer compliant. So why are we talking about all these things? You know, I have just given you background information of what significance are all this information. It is to prepare you for the future. To prepare you for the future. That is why we are taking this workshop. And that is why I say this may be one of the most important slides from here henceforth. What you do with the information you are receiving now. So why is it important that you as an individual should embrace digital transformation? Number one, When you do that, you are going to become marketable. Marketable means there will be a market for you. You will be in demand. When you offer yourself in the marketplace, somebody will price you. Somebody will show interest in you. If anybody is entering the marketplace today and he doesn't have computer literacy, honestly, that person is not going to be in demand. That person, nobody will be interested. Your value has diminished. But when you are computer literate, computer compliant, you are marketable. Not only that, you will be resourceful. Resourceful means you add value to the system. You are not only consuming digital technology, we are also developing and adding to digital knowledge, to digital resources. A lot of young people are contributing to digital resources. A lot of youths, a lot of students like you who have embraced digital transformation, they are adding to the body of knowledge. That thing we say that knowledge is doubling very fast now. So young people are contributing to that doubling of knowledge. Look at this picture. These are Nigerian youths, teenagers, from one secondary school in Anambra State. In the year 2018, they went for a competition in California, where we call Silicon Valley. And why did they go there? Because they developed an application that can detect fake drugs. So they joined in an international competition and they came first. And they went to the United States to display what they have developed. They won gold medal in that competition. These are Nigerian youths. So they were not just consumers of digital technology, they were contributors. They were resource persons, so they were resourceful. So when you embrace digital technology, you'll be resourceful and you will be useful. Any organization where you find yourself, you will be useful. You will never be redundant. There's nothing like they are laying people off and they lay you off. They can't afford to lay you off if you have skills, computer skills. They can't do away with you. And you will be relevant. You'll be relevant. They will always need you. There's always a market for you. Just yesterday, a friend of mine was telling me about his in-law, that he has to resign from his place of work. He was an engineer. I think they were paying him up to 150,000, but he resigned. Why? Because he had a skill, a computer skill, technology skill. He used to develop programs for schools, applications for schools. As many people are inviting him to come and help them set up their application. So he has to resign from his job to face this one. Why? Because he said this is where the future is. And I agree with him. So when you are computer compliant, you are relevant. And then, of course, you'll be successful. You will make it. You will make it. You can never be a poor person. You can never be a mediocre when you embrace this new technology. And you will be fulfilled. Your life will be fulfilled. You will not be somebody always complaining about life and economy and all that. No, you have something doing always. You have something doing always. So that is how you are going to prepare for the future. I have already shown you this. So where do you start? What do you need to do? Number one, you have to be proficient in Microsoft applications. That is the basics. That's where to start. All of you must know how to use computer and how to use Microsoft applications. Things like Microsoft Word, how to type, how to save, how to edit documents, how to format, how to open a document. You have to learn all these things. How to use PowerPoint, like what I'm doing right now is PowerPoint. You have to learn it. How to use Excel. Excel is an important skill that many organizations are looking for people that have knowledge of Excel. They use it to do their balancing, their accounting, and all that. So if you have that skill, it's very, very useful. Another application like Teams and Publishers, you need to learn those things. Then from there, you move to the next level of coding. How to code, how to write codes, computer codes. That will prepare you for how to go into robotic, machine design, this animation, programming, web designing, JavaScript writing, and things like that. If you have all this knowledge, honestly, the opportunities are endless for you. Then, of course, you have to go ahead and write exams, certified exams. on various digital courses. There are so many courses you can do online. Some of them are free. Some of them, before they give you a certificate, you have to pay for them. It's okay. You can afford it. The cost is not so much. So find courses to do. We have example like Coursera. We have the one they call Allison. We have the one they call Deep Brown. We have the one they call Google Digital Class. I think we have once marketed it in our success camp. We invited people from Google to advertise digital class. So enroll in some of them. We have Shaw Academy. We have EDX. It is a Harvard that organizes this Harvard school. Enroll. We have Indicate, and so many of them online courses. Go and do them. Okay, these are the logo. You have Sarah, you have Deep Brown, you have Allison, you have EDX, Udemy, and so many of them. This is an example of what Coursera sent to me. I registered for Coursera last week or so, and they sent me something like this. And these are courses, free courses available. We have financial markets that's being offered by Yale University. You have English for career development by University of Pennsylvania. We have machine learning by Stanford University. You have programming for everybody, University of Michigan. You have introduction to psychology, Yale University. You have successful negotiations, essential strategies and skills. Imagine that. It's there, free for you. You have Excel skills for business, essentials. Science of well-being, so many of them. Interesting courses you can offer within 3-4 months, you have finished. And they give you a certificate, and it's with you. You have the knowledge, you have the skill, and you have the certificate. And that is an addition to you as you enter into the labor market. This is my own certificate. Yes, I once took a course, Readings in Global Health, with EDX, Harvard School of Public Health, and they gave me this certificate. That was in 2018, and it's there. 2016, sorry. All right. So, what are you going to do now? The way to go, I say number one, you have to focus on soft skills, what we call soft skills. You have to start developing yourself. You have to start working on yourself. Soft skills are personality traits and habits. Habits like hard work, like self-discipline, like communication skills. You have to work on those things, develop them. Also, leadership skills, develop them. Communication, listening skill, teamwork. You have to learn those things, build on yourself, build your character, build your personality. Then you have to engage in self-paced learning through individual study. Okay, you don't need to wait for somebody, for a teacher to push you and to move you. Identify something you want to learn and pursue it. Set a goal for yourself and pursue it. Identify a skill you want to acquire and pursue it. There's something we call autodidactism, self-learning, self-paced learning. It's very important. Then number 4, you are going to do what we call self-rebranding or self-repackaging. You have to, there's something that people should know you with, something they will identify you with. That is your brand. Especially in this area of digital transformation, you should rebrand yourself. For instance, in my office, there's one of our staff, anytime he sees me, he will call me Yahoo. For many years, he called me Yahoo. Well, now, of course, there are people we call Yahoo boys. That's not what he meant. Yahoo boys are those who have computer skill and knowledge, and they are using those skills for negative things, for duping people, for swindling people, for cheating people, and all that. We call them Yahoo boys. But that's not what he meant. What he meant is that I am always ahead when it comes to technology. Whenever any new thing comes up, I'm already into it. So because of that, I'm always ahead of other people. Think of anything, I have tried my hand on it. So he always call me Yahoo. Whenever they get into trouble using any technology, they will look for me. And when I come, I'll find a way to fix it. So they say, once he sees me, even today, he will say Yahoo. So that is how become my brand. It has become my brand. So that's what I said, self-rebranding. Brand yourself in line with digital technology. That thing will open up opportunities for you. I'll give you another example. There was a time they were forming a committee. I wasn't even part of it. The management, top management board of our hospital, they were trying to form a committee from the federal government of Nigeria. They said they should form this committee, and they gave criteria of types of people they will put in that committee. And they were choosing people that they are going to nominate. Then one of the criteria, they said that this person should possess computer skills and abilities and all that. That's how they nominated me. I wasn't there. But once they say computer, they say that's the person we put, and that's how they put me. And my membership of that committee has opened up a lot of doors and opportunities for me. I have attended meetings up to the presidency because of my membership of that committee. So that is rebranding. Then you have to be digital literate. You know, the illiterate of 21st century is not the person who cannot read or write. No, the illiterate of 21st century is the person who cannot use computer or mobile devices. Some people, they don't know how to use even the Android phone, the simple Android phone. Apart from making phone calls, receiving phone call, text message, and doing WhatsApp, they don't know what to do with this handset. They don't know that the thing is a machine, that a lot of things can be done. So you have to be digital literate, develop yourself, learn how to use all these things, how to use computer and all that, how to learn that. And you must learn to use new and emerging technologies. See, technologies keep on coming, new things keep on coming. As they are coming, expose yourself to them. Familiarize yourself with the new technologies, new things, new devices. Because that is where the future will be. That is the future of works. Works must integrate all those things, all those technologies. Then develop resilience. If you try, you fail, you try again. Keep on working on yourself, keep on trying, never give up. That's what it takes. Now, I come to this very important point. I don't know if any of you know what we call STEM, S-T-E-M. In educational system. Who knows what they call STEM? We will not be able to talk to me, so I will talk to you. S means science. T means technology. E means engineering. And M means mathematics. So when you come to education, you talk about STEM subjects, you're talking about subjects that has to do with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now look at the figure up there, 80%. What it means is that between 2020 and 2030, that's in the next decade, they say that 80% of new jobs that will be created will be in the area of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That if they create 100 jobs in the next 10 years, 80 of them will be in the area of STEM. In other words, only those that have the ability, the skill, the degrees in direction of STEM will fit into those new jobs. And look at what I have in that table there, in that box. In India, they say in India, as of 2016, between 2016 and 2018, that 42% of Indian graduates were in science, technology, education, and mathematics. 42% of Indian graduates are inclined, science inclined. While in China, it's about 40%. And these are the real technological advanced countries, those people that are playing around with technology. 40% of Chinese graduates are science inclined. About 7% of graduates in Israel are science inclined. In US, it's about 36%. In South Africa, 25%. In Nigeria, very low, 20%. Only 20% of Nigerian students incline and graduate in science and technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we are saying that in the future, 80% of jobs that will be created will be for those who are in this field. So what is that? What does that mean for you as a student? What it means for you is that is the direction you must go. Some people say they don't like science, but that is where the future is. It is STEM that will determine the future job market. It is STEM that will determine the advancement of the future. It is those who are inclined to science and technology and engineering that will have a market, a good market for tomorrow. So I want to advise you, my dear people, that this is the way to go. Take your sciences very serious. Some people say, I don't like mathematics. You have to like mathematics. You have to embrace mathematics. You have to know mathematics. And you have to major in mathematics. Mathematics and engineering and computer. If you are going to find the future to be favorable to you. That is my message. So at this junction, I want to say thank you and welcome to the future. That's the end. Thank you. This is the end of my presentation. I'm not hearing you. You are clapping, but I'm not hearing you. Maybe you unmute. Okay, you unmute.